Welcome back to Boerne Radio Home and Ranch Show. I'm James Duerr, your Texas realtor selling luxury homes and Texas ranches all over Texas, all over the hill country, and especially here in Boerne, Texas.
The Boerne Radio Home and Ranch Show is sponsored by Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Whether buying a home or selling one, our network agents are good to know. The Bevy Hotel. Make yourself at home. Wells Fargo Advisors. Your goals, your style. Pilgrim Mortgage. Helping you find the perfect home. And by Brand Builders Digital Media Agency. Social media marketing to grow your business.
I want to talk about one thing. I want to talk about Boerne Radio, because in the drive-in today, I wasn't in the best of mood, and I'll tell you what, listening to Boerne Radio, it just sparked me up. I just loved it. Every song is just incredible. And so what type of music do you like?
Well, first of all, I was listening to the 80s music on my way in. Most of it was English 80s.
Okay.
So Phil Collins, Eric Clapton, the usual ones. But I find it motivating. It kind of does uplift you, and especially when you're an independent agent. You need that, you need that to keep you going sometimes.
Right. It's your own business.
Exactly.
And so the buck stops here.
Yeah.
And you're from England.
I am.
And I heard a very special person was listening in England to BoerneRadio.com.
Yes, she was. She's my rock, and that's my mum. She's 75, and she's completely invested in what I do. She's one of my biggest supporters.
Great. We want to talk a little bit about buyers, and if you're a buyer out there, and there's lots of new construction going on, and sometimes people just kind of stumble onto, I'm not talking about like custom builders that you're kind of meeting with Travis White and you're designing this one home, but sometimes you go into neighborhoods, very nice neighborhoods here in Boerne, and you may have 100 homes, 200 homes, and as a buyer, should you have a realtor if you go into just a new home construction area?
Absolutely. In fact, one of the pluses of working with new builds is that really they have two agents, or should I say they've got a sales rep and they've got a realtor. Mm-hmm. So between the two of us, we're working with the buyer to make sure that we communicate with them, they're getting everything they need, but also most people understand that with new builds, there's stages to the process. And it's important that you've got a realtor that if you can't get out there, then they're there to go through that process. And it can be very stressful. And so, again, you try and take that stress away from your clients.
Well, why do people not always use a realtor when they're buying a new home construction?
I think that sometimes there's just a misconception about that. And obviously sometimes when buyers are out running around on the weekend, they might pop in and look at the show homes. So sometimes I think that they just assume that when they're purchasing a new build that there isn't any negotiations.
Right.
And they don't realize the process of building from the foundation up.
Right. So and it's not, and people may think that it costs more money to have a realtor represent you, which is not right. I mean, that's incorrect. It's going to be the same cost. The builder's paying the realtor. You're not paying for anything. Right. But you getting that representation.
Yes, and actually, most of the builders that we work with, they want a realtor.
Exactly.
They want that person there because we are also the buffer, and those sales reps, they could be dealing with 20 buyers at one time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So we need to make sure that not only are we heard, but they need our help to facilitate getting to the closing table.
Yeah. I talk with builders all the time, and they're always saying that. They said, hey, we want you to bring buyers out here, and we pay you even better every time, but it's still the same price to the end user, but they want to compensate a realtor and take care of them, and it doesn't come out of the buyer's budget at all. I mean, this is a built-in cost for
Exactly.
buying and selling homes. But it's so critical to have somebody representing your interest and having your confidentiality forever. about anything you would say in the process.
Yes, and actually in some cases you do more work with a new build than what you do on a resale home.
Well, it sounds like you get engaged. Like if they're out of town and there's a critical part, maybe they're putting the plumbing in, or they're doing the foundation pour. Sounds like if they want you to go out there, Sara Moore or Berkshire Hathaway, you'll go out there?
Absolutely, I'm at everything. I go to every inspection at every stage. I'm obviously at the closing table, and I'm still there afterwards. So, yeah.
Well, how do they contact you, Sara Moore?
That would be on 210-870-0309.
0309. And anything else about the if you're doing have you worked with clients that needed construction loans like we talked with Pilgrim Mortgage about?
Yes, I have. And in fact, right now the process of building has obviously been delayed because of what's been going on in the country right now. But yes, I've dealt with a lot of people like that. But also because this market is so crazy right now,
Right.
People that are buying homes now, by the time they're in the house, they've already got equity because the house prices are going up.
That's crazy.
So it is crazy.
And it's a great time to buy. It's a great time to get your mortgage from Pilgrim Mortgage because you can lock in those low rates.
Absolutely.
And it's any time to buy a lot is to buy a property for doing a custom build or to buying a new construction. Now is the time for sure. So is anything else you'd like to talk to about representing buyers? And if any buyers are out there, you call Sara Moore at 210-870-0309, and she'll help you through the whole process. What else is about being a buyer and having a real estate agent representing you that's advantageous to the buyer?
Right. So when you have a buyer, you can't assume that they know everything about purchasing a home. Most of them have already purchased a home, but legalities are changing, contracts are changing, acts are changing. So you've got to keep up with those things. And regardless of how many times they bought and sold, they still need that education. But the most important thing, and I always stress this, is you've got to make sure that you communicate everything to your clients. You can't have them hanging out there because they're sitting there thinking, okay, well, what's going on? You need to make sure that you inform them every step of the way of what's happening. But also you've got to have a realtor that's available all the time. You've got to have somebody that's working 7 days a week,
Right.
not a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday, especially right now.
And we've talked about that before.
Yes.
Both you and I have that passion, 7 days a week, and somebody needs to see a home today, we'll go show it to them. And of course, they need to have all the documentation. They need to have the pre-qualification letter from Pilgrim Mortgage. They need to have everything ready because this is a hot market. And if you want to get the dream home, you got to act quick. And you got to have a realtor who's responsive, like Sara Moore at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services.
Absolutely. And it also, when you are working with Pilgrim, they obviously go through all the criteria of what you need in order to qualify for a home. And again, in this market, you don't have the opportunity to go under contract, and then find out we can't fulfill the obligation of financing. When we do put offers in right now, the offers that we're doing are strong offers to be competitive, but also if you're working with a loan officer that is in tune with their clients, then they might even call the listing agent on our behalf and say, look, these people are solid. In some scenarios, depending upon who we're dealing with, if we're in a multiple offer situation, we need the other party, the seller and the listing agent, to know that we have solid financing. Because what they don't want is they don't want to go under contract and then end up back on the market.
That's right. Well, Sara Moore with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Hill Country Properties, thank you for being here. We look forward to having you on the show again. And this is Boerne Radio, Home and Ranch Show.